Hey guys, I'm out here off Cerrito Road. This is an area I've been before in the Crosstrek, and if you want to see that video, check out Off-Road to the Lake. And a couple days ago, I went on another trail down here that was further west off of Cerrito Road. And I've been trying these older trails out while I'm in the Jeep, just so I can compare in my mind and share it with you guys the differences between the Crosstrek and Jeep. Obviously, this is the kind of stuff the Jeep is made for. But the Crosstrek is actually very capable off-road, but I've noticed a few things already, and we'll talk about that as we go along in this video, and I'm gonna show you some of that stuff. But I actually tried to do this route twice in the Crosstrek, and both times I decided at the end, I just didn't like how big and nasty the rocks were. So I'm gonna see if I feel comfortable going over them in the Jeep without a spotter. I'm pretty sure I should be able to do that, but we'll find out. Hopefully it's not a fail again. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Today we actually can see the sky a little bit. The last probably 3 or 4 days as we've been socked in, it's almost looked like really dense fog, but it's just really high smoke coming over from the California wildfires. So it's nice to actually see some sky and some clouds around here. Being an Arizona boy, I can get leads me to depression pretty quick when I don't get to see the sun or the blue sky. So it's nice to have that back. Anyway, let's move along, and we'll check back in here in a little bit as we get further along. So most of this trail was actually, for the most part, pretty easy for the Crosstrek, but stuff like this, these little, I don't know, half camber, or these little gouges where you have to kind of undulate over, those were a little bit of a problem for the Crosstrek, just because, you know, basically the car's pretty stiff and it doesn't articulate, and despite having the ground clearance, you know, almost 9 inches, it doesn't handle washes and things like that very well, just because the nose dips in, and that's like this thing right here is no worries for the Jeep, but the Crosstrek, you have to worry about bumping that front end, and I did that a lot actually, and that's why I ended up getting the bar and skid plate, which then caused a few other problems just because I lost the ground clearance. Now, in the Crosstrek video, I actually went through the little gap there. It's easier just to go around. It takes you right around this fence. And the quote-unquote where we're headed, the lake, is actually just really a cow pond. Somebody named it The Lake on Google, if you don't remember from the other video, or if you didn't see that video. So, but what little off-roading I've done in the Jeep so far, I've been really impressed. It's, I haven't been in a Jeep doing any real off-roading since I had the Rubicon, which was, I think I sold that 2009, 2008, can't remember. But yeah, just, this thing does a really nice job. Still haven't been on anything difficult. That off-road to the lake video, there were I went on a trail kind of off to the right up here that ended up having some really interesting areas that the Crosstrek didn't really like too much. A lot of deep washes where I was having to go up on 3 wheels and scraping the mud flaps, and then there was a really kind of a deep down and up wash that I had a difficult time getting out of. I had to really floor the gas and get some momentum going, otherwise the tires would just spin, and that was even in X mode. So I may check out that trail here too, just to see how the Jeep does. So as you make your way on this trail, it actually turns into kind of a wash, gets a lot more sandy. And one of the observations that I've made between driving the Jeep in sand and the Crosstrek is the Crosstrek definitely, in my opinion, handles the sand a little bit better. In the Jeep with the rear wheel drive and not in 4 high, you tend to wander around a little bit. So it was in this section where I actually went into 4 high, made a really big difference as far as just control over the vehicle, so that was nice. But Crosstrek does great in sand, and as you guys know who probably have done that before, but there's definitely a distinct difference. And then as you come to the end of this section, there's a fence in the way, so you have to cruise up here and go through this cattle gate. And we'll make our way through here and then keep going. All right, guys, so this is where in the last video, I'm not sure if you can see it actually from here. Take this off and show you. So last time I went up around that way, and that got me into some areas that the Crosstrek wasn't super comfortable with. I think today we're just going to continue along the wash, which is what we were just in. It looks like a road, but it's really a wash more than anything. I think the Jeep would be totally fine up here, but we're going to head down here. The section that I got kind of stuck in with the Crosstrek is just up here and around the corner. So we'll continue on and see what we can find up there. But so far, smooth sailing. It's actually a pretty nice day out here. It's a little bit warm, but it's not 100 this week, so that's nice. So let's keep going on. The trail continues on, just gets sandier and sandier, and then it actually starts to tighten up a little bit. There's some really cool rock canyon sides and stuff. It's not super deep, but it's still pretty neat. And I had to stop a lot to cut some limbs out of the way. Obviously getting scratches is going to happen. We talked about that in the past, but just trying to minimize as much as I can, trying to avoid really deep scratches. I don't mind the light stuff. So I wanted to stop real quick and show you this. This is where the road came out when I did the loop. If I would have gone up and over that hill by that gate back there, it circles way around, and this is how I came back out on the Crosstrek, with the Crosstrek. So we came through here and then I headed down this way. So we're getting real close now to the part where I was stuck at down here. It's not much further. As you get further into the wash, you start running into these larger rocks, and you've got some obstacles on the side and stuff. And again, none of this is super hard. I got past this section in the Crosstrek, I believe. So as you get up here, you start seeing it's a little bit more technical, or at least you have bigger, sharper rocks up here. And this is the section where I kind of stopped in the Crosstrek. I could have gone a little bit further. Up here, you'll see they get even bigger and sharper, but you know, it really was no problem for the Jeep, even without a spotter. I just got out and took my time and checked out any kind of problem areas. But I talk a little bit about it later, but I think with a lift, a Crosstrek could probably do most of the section coming up. But it does get a little bit nasty up here. Here's where you start hitting the sharp and the bigger rocks. And the camera really doesn't do it justice. These guys are pretty nasty looking, but turns out there's really a pretty good line that you can carry in the Jeep to get through it. Again, I just took my time. This is by no means difficult four-wheel driving, but again, just sharp, kind of big rocks. Just got to be careful on them. It was definitely nice to finally make it through here and get up and out the other side and be able to make it to the quote-unquote lake. Funny thing is, as you'll see at the end of this, there's actually a gate off of Cerrito Road that you can bypass all of this. I kind of figured so by looking at the map, even back a couple years ago when I did this the first time, but it was fun trying this way. It was nice to finally make it through there. Ended up being not super dramatic. It was really not a problem for the Jeep at all. I still don't believe a stock Crosstrek can make it over those rocks near the end there. If you had a lift, probably so, but definitely not a stock one. Right here in front of me now, that's the valley we just came up and out of, and the camera's, again, not really doing it justice. But just up here a little ways and around the corner, that's where the lake is. And as it turns out, you'll see there's actually a decent amount of water in there, and it's really a lot prettier than I thought it was. It is basically just a large cow pond, but it turned out to be a lot better than I thought. When I got down to the lake, unfortunately there was a couple guys that were dove hunting, so I didn't want to interfere with that. So I just took some quick pictures and a little short video and then took off. And then you saw the drone footage already. I did fly back and at least give you an aerial shot as well. And I hope to get back here soon. All right, so then I flew back in the drone, and actually I did that flyover of the lake from about 2 miles away. You'll see where I was as I get back along here. But this is a sped up version of the flight back. And I'm guessing it's about 2 miles or so. Probably not quite 2, but real close. 10,000 feet or so. But this road out is not bad. And it does lead to a gate that's up here that you'll see in a sec. And there's the second pond. And it was funny, there were dove hunters there as well. I was gonna show you guys that too, but they were shooting over there. And you can see the car traveling at the top of the screen. So that's Highway 83. So you're looking at basically 2 miles in on a very nice dirt road versus busting through that wash and doing all that other stuff, but not quite as fun. So here I am parked real next to the gate. But I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those below. And as always, you can email me with questions as well. We'll see you next time, guys. Thank you.